Left of Pasuk K. Vayishu b'nei Yisrael Ramses v'yachnu b'Sukkos. They traveled. Bnei Yisrael traveled from Ramses, and they camped in Sukkos. I'm thinking in Pasuk Gimel, it says, and he traveled from Ramses in the first month, 15th day, so we left Mitzrayim. Then it says, Yotzu b'nei Yisrael b'yod chazoka b'yod rama b'nei kol Yisrael. When it says Vayishu Ramses, who? Vayishu. Yichdu Moshe's Motzeim l'Maseim. There, where they left and where they traveled, and the travels. Theirs. It doesn't say Yichdu Moshe's Motzei Masei b'nei Yisrael api Hashem. Doesn't mention b'nei Yisrael. Correct? Then over here it says Vayishu Ramses. They travel in Ramses. Then it says b'nei Yisrael Yotzu b'nei Yisrael b'yod rama. In Pasuk Hey it says Vayishu b'nei Yisrael miyam Ramses. Doesn't say V'yimsu Ramses v'yachnu b'Sukkos. We mentioned b'nei Yisrael. Then in Vav doesn't say V'yishu b'nei Yisrael mi-Sukkos, because we already mentioned b'nei Yisrael, right? So there's not. So again, so what do we mention in Hey? V'yishu b'nei Yisrael. Originally we spoke about V'yishu Ramses v'chodesh Rishon. Doesn't say V'yishu b'nei Yisrael, right? So V'yishu mi Ramses. And at the end of the pasuk, we refer to them Yotzu b'nei Yisrael b'yod rama. What's bothering me? No, originally Gimel with the pasuk doesn't start with b'nei Yisrael. It ends. It tells us in what state did they leave. And in pasuk Hey, we mentioned Vayishu b'nei Yisrael Ramses, v'yachnu b'Sukkos. Then we don't mention them as b'nei Yisrael any longer. Vayishu, they, because we know who the they is. So I was thinking, because when we left Ramses, what did we leave as? We left as b'nei Yisrael. That's when we started. This was the beginning of going to Sinai. So that's V'yishu b'nei Yisrael. Okay? That's the reason why otherwise, we know we're speaking about b'nei Yisrael. So to bring out the point, because we're traveling as b'nei Yisrael, therefore the Torah refers to them as b'nei Yisrael. No, because there it says it at the end of the pasuk. V'yishu Ramses, then it says Yotzu b'nei Yisrael b'yod rama. There, but we know who we know we're speaking about b'nei Yisrael. Why mention it again? Why mention it again? Because it's emphasizing this point. There it's telling the b'nei Yisrael left b'yod rama. Okay, that's why it's being mentioned. But what about they're leaving? What are they leaving as? They're leaving as b'nei Yisrael.
So Ramses wasn't the first stop.
Was the first Vayishu b'nei Yisrael May Ramses.
Right, so Ramses
Was the first exit. Yeah, Ramses was Egypt, of course. Ramses, Pisum and Ramses. Those were the fortified cities, the ones that they built.
Right. So it wasn't even there wasn't a.
But this was the first launch. This was the first location of departure. V'yachnu b'Sukkos, Yishu b'Sukkos, v'yachnu b'Eisom, Asher b'Tzei Midbar. Now it's interesting. Why was the location called Sukkos? We find that Yaakov Avinu, he traveled. It took him 2 years to come back. Correct? So he built. It says it was called Sukkos because he built Sukkos for his, right, for his sheep or whatever is for the winter. Why is this location called Sukkos? So here the Baal HaTurim says, "From this Tochu B'Anei HaKavod." Sukkos is when the Anei HaKavod came into being. Until Sukkos, there were no Anei HaKavod. So from the word Sukkah, right, we sit in the Sukkah because it is to commemorate the Anei HaKavod, right? So that's why he says, "Sham nistochu b'anei HaKavod," brings from Tosi Shonim. V'yishu misukos v'yachnu be'esom at Masei Midbar. They camped in Esom, which was the edge of the Midbar. V'yishu mi'esom. It's interesting. When we left Egypt, they didn't know exactly if they're going through the desert or not, right? It says, Lo nochel kim derech eretz plishtim ki korafu. So he took him the circuitous route through. So when we say, Zochati lo chesed no rayach, avos kolosayach, Hashem says, I will remember, Lechdef achrei b'midbar beretz lo zerua. At what point was that? When they left? Or was it at this point, Vayisu, when they were B'Ktzei HaMidbar, Yisu Misu Yakim B'Ktzei Yisu B'Ktzei HaMidbar, going from that point beyond, or they knew this was the route they were taking, or because it was a question in their mind. But definitely at this point, they knew they were going into the desert, right? So from this point, definitely, it's a Chesed Norayich. This is Lech Techachrei B'Midbar, Beretz Lo Zerua at this point. But the question is this: the 4/5 that died, that's I'm getting back, by time of Choshech, right? Why didn't they go out? Why did they die? It's not because you had to be a tzaddik to leave, but you had to be interested to leave. We see Daslan and Viram left. Meaning, if you had that emunah, that you're willing to go into the desert, then you qualified to leave. These 4/5, they didn't have that emunah. Therefore, they didn't leave, because no Jews left behind. Either you come, or it's over. You die there. So evidently, it seems to be then, either they knew, or there was they suspected that's what's going to happen. That's why they're not going. But definitely at this point, when the B'Ktzei HaMidbar, they were at the edge of the desert, going into the desert, there's no question, at this point, they had the emunah. Even though it's interesting, Hashem already provided them with everything even before they went to the desert. You understand? No. Sukkah's the Anei HaKavod. The Anei HaKavod already pre-existed going into the desert. So if that's the case already, so they're insulated. Unless maybe they don't yet know what they don't know what.
Maybe they didn't feel it, they didn't know it.
No, they saw they were enclosed. They were enclosed at this point. See, firstly, they had to have the Anei HaKavod because it says they pursued it for 7 days, and the cloud separated between them and Mitzrayim, right? The Onon. So that was one of the Anei HaKavod. It says when they shot the catapults and the arrows, the cloud absorbed everything. Said that was part of the protection. I mean, they didn't even realize what was going on, right? They were illuminated. Their path was light. The Egyptians were in this fog. Okay. The other 4/5 they didn't have the emunah. No, but especially now. No, I understand that. No, I understand. But I'm saying the sukkahs already were in place. B'Ktzei HaMidbar. That's when it was B'Ktzei HaMidbar, because that's when you need the Anei HaKavod. Even though it says Beretz Lo Zerua, say the two things. Eretz Lo Zerua. The Anei HaKavod is to protect you from the elements. What are you going to eat? Right? How do you take provisions into the desert? It's Eretz, so we're emphasizing the Lo Zerua. Right? They didn't have the money yet at this point. So that was a nest. That was a miracle that they were able to retain it for so long. Vayisu me'esom. They traveled from Esav, Yoshuv, al pi achiros, asher al pnei bal tzvon. And they returned to Chiros, pi chiros. Right? That was the only deity that Hashem did not destroy to mislead them. Asher al pnei bal tzvon, v'yachnu l'fnei migdol, the bal tzvon. Rashi over here, the Baal Turim says, v'yosha pi achiros, ve'inome v'yoshuvu. Doesn't in the plural. It says Vayoshov, right? Like right? Vayichanam kinegedor, right? Leivechod, Ishechod leivechod. Eino omed Yeshuv Lam Shekulam Hayu Belev Echod Lasos Kid Al Pitzi V'Shel Moshe. I mean, they were traveling back to the enemy. It's suicide. Here we're fleeing from them, and you're going back. The Torah emphasizing this point Vayoshev. They were unified. Nobody even questioned it. They followed, fully committed to the command of Moshe Rabbeinu. What?
Considering it's really should be plural because it's a lot of people.
Right. That's the point he's making.
I think we say Vayoshuvu, and it's Vayoshav.
Right. That's his point. That's the Baal Turim. Mm-hmm. That's what the Baal Turim is saying. Then he brings out. It says Al Pi Achiros. Al Pi. He says Pashas Vayi B'Shalach. I mean, here we're recounting what happened. Okay. In Bishal it says Lifnei This is the al pi achiros, says lefnei pi achiros. Here it says al pnei achiros, it says lefnei. There it says before, this is al. Lamed shom Moshe al pi Hashem, ani omer lechem shtiu bnei chorin. The al pi achiros is coming to indicate that Moshe Rabbeinu was telling them, it seems to be, it's Moshe's own decision. It's his decision. He's telling them, go back. It's al pi. There it's just factually. It's lefnei. They were lefnei pi achiros, no, but here it's al pi. So therefore, it wasn't they were following dictate Moshe. They already, it's something very interesting. The Rambam says, how do we know that Moshe was the God spokesman? Because we heard at Sinai, Moshe lechem elam kach lekach. We openly witnessed as Hashem spoke to Moshe, go tell them such and such. This is before it, right? He's saying al pi achiros. It's not my decision. This is what Hashem wants. So although it wasn't simple, right? Maybe it's Moshe, but they accepted it. They accepted it al pi Hashem. Although there's a slight question over here, right? Who said? It's like the Rambam says. Why? Because he performed miracles. Maybe he's a greater sorcerer than all the Egyptians. Who said it's Hashem? Maybe it's Moshe Rabbeinu. Despite that fact, at the moment, they believed him. When he said, Al Pi Hashem, it's Al Pi Hashem. To be continued. Points we made this morning we never made before. I said the points we learned before today. I mean, never thought about these things. Every year, you see new things in the Psukim. Has on the